Hi, hello again from Houston, Texas. My name is Dr. Brandy Yale, and I'm going to be running the webinar this morning. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to start off first with a short presentation, and then we're going to go to a Q&A session so that you can ask any questions that you have about the enrollment process, about arriving in Houston. We're really going to focus on questions for international students today. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and post them in the comments section, and I will start answering them as soon as I finish the short presentation. If you participated in the first webinar, it is going to be the same presentation with just a few additional things added. But please ask any questions. If you asked a question in the first webinar and you want to ask that question again, that's totally fine. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you'll be able to see the presentation. For those of you who participated in the last webinar, you will know that we did have some issues with the PowerPoint presentation, and I'm hoping that those issues have been now resolved. So let's see if you can see the screen. There's a little bit of lag, so I'm waiting to see if the screen actually does pop up before I begin. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start, and please let me know if there's any issues with the video or with the stream as I go along. You can let me know through the comment section. I'll be able to see anything that you write there. Okay, so here's an overview of the topics we're going to discuss today. I'm going to talk about setting up your MyUH account, how to enroll in courses and when you can enroll, some employment opportunities here on campus, how the tuition and fee structure works, when the orientations are going to be for various programs, and then we'll move to the Q&A. So it does look like the slides are working this time, which is very good. So to set up your MyUH account, you go to my.uh.edu and select the Request My User ID selection. It'll run you through a set of questions that will help you determine to set up the account. You're going to need either a social security number or the SEVIS ID from your I-20. Most of you are international students, so you will need your SEVIS ID. Once you've set up the account, you can log in. There are a couple of ways to log in. You can log directly into the PeopleSoft system, which has a login box that looks like the picture here. And you can also log in through Access UH. And if you log in through that way, you can use your CougarNet ID to log in. So let's see. So if you have any issues with setting up your account, you can go to the information technology link that you see there, and you can call them as well. And so information technology can help you with any IT issues you have with your CougarNet or with your MyUH. So once you've logged into your account, there are a couple of common holds that you will see. The first one is the international check-in and orientation hold. In the past, this hold has prevented enrollment. So you weren't able to actually enroll until you got here to Houston. And this has changed. So now you can enroll. Even if you see this hold on your account, you will still be able to process your enrollment. So go ahead and look through the course schedule and enroll in classes. On February 1st, which we call the census date, that hold will stop enrollment for the next semester. So you still need to make sure that you attend international check-in and orientation, because if you do not, you will not be able to enroll in the next session. So the second hold you will see is prior degree verification. This hold will also not prevent enrollment in your first semester, but it will prevent enrollment in the second semester. So you need to submit official sealed hard copies of any transcripts, mark sheets, and degree certificates that you have. We need a complete academic record, particularly for your undergraduate degree. For those of you who also have a master's degree already and are entering the PhD program, we do want those transcripts as well. but they will not prevent you from being enrolled into classes. Finally is the bacterial meningitis immunization hold. You will see this hold if you are under 22 years of age by January 17th, which is the first day of classes. So if you won't be 22 by then, you need to make sure you get this vaccination and submit proof of that along with the bacterial meningitis form through your MyUH account. And there is a link to that on the UH website. Just search for bacterial meningitis and you'll find it, or you can email me and I'll send it to you. So other than the bacterial meningitis hold, these holds will not stop you from registering. A couple other common holds that you might see are GRE or TOEFL holds. This means that we never received your official scores. Some departments will admit students who have not submitted the official scores. And so they put those holds on your account to prevent enrollment. You will not be able to enroll in your first semester until we have your official scores. Okay, so course enrollment. Most new students are currently eligible to enroll for spring. Because some departments choose to have you attend orientation or an advising session before you can enroll, there are a couple of departments where students cannot enroll yet. I know that industrial and civil engineering are both not allowing students to enroll right now. You need to meet with an advisor first or attend orientation. I believe that all the other departments are allowing students to enroll. International students are required to enroll in at least 9 credit hours per semester, and you need to enroll into those as soon as possible, if whether that is now or when you get here. By the census date that I was talking about before, if you are not enrolled fully, they will discontinue you as a student, and your visa will fall out of status. So you need to make sure that you're in 9 credit hours per semester. If you're a supported student, and supported means either you're receiving a scholarship or you have an RA or a TA position, the College of Engineering requires that you enroll in 12 credit hours per semester. And this is specifically if you are requesting a tuition waiver. You need to make sure you're in 12 credit hours because they will check your enrollment before they process your tuition waiver. The last day to add a class is January 24th. So please make sure that you're in at least 9 credit hours by then. But you can add, if you wanted to, you could add up to 12 credit hours and then drop all the way until February 1st without being charged for that class. If you're still enrolled on February 1st, you will be charged some portion of tuition for that course if you drop it after that date. So please contact your department advisor if you have any questions about this, or go to the UH website under courses and enrollment to find more information. There's very detailed information about what the requirements are for enrollment. So I get a lot of questions about how many credit hours you should enroll in and how long it will take you to finish your degree. This chart is meant to show different paces that you can finish your degree. So international students are required to be enrolled full-time every semester. They are also required to take courses that meet their degree plan requirements. You can't take extra courses that are, just for fun or just because you're interested in them. They have to meet your degree plan requirements. So you can choose which pace you want to go at. We recommend students choose the accelerated pace. It's slightly cheaper, and you can finish in 3 semesters or 1 year. The full-time pace is probably the most common pace that students follow. You have to enroll in 9 credit hours each semester. In the summer, you can choose to enroll in 3 credit hours, or you can take that 3 credit hours at another point in time during your studies in another semester and not enroll in the summer at all. Summer enrollment is not mandatory, but it is mandatory that you enroll in every long semester, the spring or fall semesters. And then finally is the full-time CPT pace. This is the pace that you need to go at if you want to do a full-time internship in your final semester. This is also a really common pace that students And students do. So international students are eligible to work off campus through CPT co-op after they complete one full academic year. Since you're starting in the spring, that means that you will not be eligible for internship this next summer. You won't be eligible until the following spring semester, spring 2018. So if doing an internship is something that is important to you or something that you're planning to do, you want to make sure you follow that full-time CPT pace. Full-time students, if you're enrolled in 9 credit hours or more, you're only eligible to work 20 hours per week in that semester that you're on internship. If you finish faster at the full-time CPT pace, then you will be on reduced course load in your final semester. And then you're eligible to work up to 40 hours per week. So you can still do an internship if you go at the full-time pace and take 9 hours that last semester, but you can only work part-time. If you do the full-time CPT pace, you can work full-time in that last semester. So here's some information about employment opportunities on campus. All international students are eligible to work on campus, but you are not eligible to work off campus. If you want to find a job off campus, it has to be through the CPT program or the co-op program. So there are lots of different jobs that are available on campus. Everything from working at a fast food restaurant, working at the library, working as a research assistant, excuse me. And so most international students, when they're looking for employment, they want the in-state tuition waiver. And so there are 3 positions that are eligible for that waiver. They're the research assistant, teaching assistant, and instructional assistant positions. Many of our students find these positions all across campus. If their particular department isn't able to give them a position, you can still look for a position in other places across campus. A lot of our students work in IA positions, which is the instructional assistant position across campus, helping set up labs or helping set up computer equipment, software development, all sorts of things. So there are pretty much any job that you can find in any city, you can find on campus. So like I said before, off-campus employment needs to be done through CPT co-op. And what a co-op is that you will get a sub-plan added to your regular plan. Your plan is what program you're in. So we'll add a sub-plan to that adds industrial experience as a requirement of your degree. And then once you sign up for that, it's required that you complete the co-op in order to finish your degree. And the co-op doesn't require course enrollment. You just need to enroll in the co-op program, which has I believe it's a $215 fee. And then that co-op will also show up on your transcript that you participated in an internship. So once you've finished your degree, you'll be eligible for optional practical training, the OPT, and that varies in length. I think right now it's 3 years, I want to say. That you can work after graduation in the United States while still being on your student visa status. So you can talk to the Engineering Career Center for more information about that, or the International Students and Scholars Office. They are really good at helping students with CPT and with OPT. The Engineering Career Center can also help you with finding internships and finding jobs after you graduate. They run a career fair every year that is limited only to engineering students. And this picture on the slide is from one of those career fairs. And so you get to meet companies throughout Houston and throughout Texas will come to these usually, sometimes across the US. And you can meet with different recruiters from those companies, give them your resume, and talk to them about opportunities at their companies. So now I'm going to move to the tuition and fee schedule. So tuition and fees are charged per semester based on how many credit hours you're taking, and your residency, and your degree program. So there's going to be different rates for almost every student on campus. If you are a graduate student in engineering, these are the rates per semester for residents and non-residents. So if you're taking 9 credit hours, it's going to be about $9,000 per semester. If you're taking 12 credit hours, it's going to be around $12,000 per semester. And the chart below shows the total per track. So if you do the accelerated pace, it is a little bit cheaper than the others. Not by a whole lot, but it will save you a little bit of money. And that's just because you complete in 3 semesters instead of 4, and you're charged fewer fees. And so you can look at this chart to kind of get an idea of what your tuition is going to cost for the entire program. Most students don't actually pay these amounts because they'll have a variation of resident and non-resident semesters. So if you do get one of those positions or a scholarship, you might have a semester or 2 semesters where you're paying resident tuition, and then you might have a 3rd semester where you're paying non-resident tuition. So most students are going to have some combination of those, and their total amount will be different. Here's some information about the payment deadlines. So the payment deadline for spring 2017 is January 10th. And that deadline is if you are already enrolled in classes before January 10th. If you are one of the students who has to wait until you arrive at UH to enroll, then your tuition will be due at the end of the day in which you enroll in classes. And so I know that sounds like really, really quick, like you enroll and then you have to pay right away. And there are some options that are available. So you'll see your bill right after you enroll. And then starting January 2nd, you can sign up for a payment plan. And there are 2 main payment plans that most students use. The first is the emergency deferment loan. And this is like a real loan. They're paying your tuition and then expecting you to pay them back. And so they do charge fees and interest with that. However, if you take the emergency deferment loan and you pay before that census date of February 1st, you will not be charged any interest on that loan. So you can set that up, and for free, you can get yourself an extra week or 2 to cover your tuition. So I highly recommend that if you register after the 10th, that you immediately do the deferment loan and then arrange payment so that you don't get any late fees. The second most common payment plan is the installment plan. And in this plan, they divide your tuition up into 4 equal payments that you have to pay throughout the semester. So you do have to put 1/4 of your tuition down immediately. And then after that, you make a payment every month until it's paid off. And so you can find more information about both these plans on our website, uh.edu/financial/payment. And there's very detailed information about both of these payment plans and how they work. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or talk to your advisor about it. We want to make sure that this is an easy process for everyone and that it's not too confusing. I also want to mention here that if you have financial aid or an assistantship, that your first semester, that might take a little bit longer to process. We have to get you in the system. We have to have you enrolled, and before we can process your financial aid. So for a lot of you, you might not see it right away when you log into My UH, but you will. By January 10th, you'll see that scholarship on your account. And it may still be pending, but if you have pending financial aid on your account, then you're not responsible for that amount, and they will subtract that from what you owe up front, what you need to pay right away. Okay, so there are a lot of orientations that you will need to attend your first semester. January 3rd and 10th are the International Student Check-in sessions. I really hope everybody has arranged their flights already, since the beginning of January is a really hard time to fly into the United States because of Christmas and New Year's. The flights are more expensive than usual. And the airports are all going to be packed during this time, so I hope that you're all prepared for that. Please try to arrive by January 3rd or January 10th so that you can go to one of these check-in sessions. If you, for some reason, need to arrive later than that, you will have to contact International Student Services and request a late check-in. And they can do that if it's absolutely necessary. January 11th and 12th are the International Student Orientation dates. This is a 2-day orientation where they orient you to life in the U.S., to attending an academic institution in the U.S., and it's also a chance for you to meet other international students who are starting in the same semester. Throughout January, we'll also have department orientations. All the departments do their orientations at different dates and times, and the next slide will give you some information about that. Finally, the College of Engineering will have an orientation on January 20th. We haven't set the time for this yet, but you will get that information by the first week of classes. And that's a chance for you to meet our Associate Dean, Dr. Suresh Kaur, and to learn more about the college and the policies the college has and their expectations for your studies. So here's the list of the department orientations. Biomedical engineering will not have a group orientation. They have a small group coming in this year, so they'd prefer to meet with everyone individually. Chemical and biomolecular engineering will also not have an orientation this semester. The civil and environmental engineering orientation will be on Friday, January 20th. The electrical and computer engineering orientation will be on January 13th. Industrial engineering will have its orientation on January 9th. The material science program will also not have a group orientation, so please meet individually with your advisor with any questions you have. Mechanical engineering is still determining when they're going to do their orientation, so I'll get that information to you as soon as I can. Petroleum engineering will have their orientation on January 10th, and the subsea engineering program will have its orientation on January 11th. Okay, so I'm going to start reading through the comments. It looks like we've already got a lot of questions, so hopefully I can get through all of these and answer them for you. If you do have a question you haven't posted yet, please go ahead and post it. Okay, so the first question I see is, let's see. When is the deadline for tuition and fee payment? Okay, so we covered that a little bit during the presentation. The deadline, if you are already registered, is January 10th. And if you're going to be late to pay, I highly suggest doing the deferment plan or setting up an installment plan. If you have any questions about those, feel free to email me and I'll walk you through it, or you can contact the Student Business Services office, and they can give you probably the most accurate information about tuition and fee bills. Let's see. So I am both international and a supported PhD students. I thought I should take 9 hours. Okay, yes, the PhD students do take 9 hours. You're right. Only master students are required to take 12 hours. And this is because we are paying your tuition through the Graduate Tuition Fellowship, which requires 9 hours of enrollment. And so if you are a PhD student, you're correct. You should take 9 credit hours. And you're from the ECE department. Welcome to our department. I was the graduate advisor for the ECE department for several years, and I have now moved to the college level, so I won't be your advisor anymore. You'll have a new advisor who will be starting in January, but you'll still see me. I'll still be at orientation. I'll still be around. Is the instructional assistant position available for first-term students? Yes, it is, but it is very difficult to get a job your first term. Especially if you want the tuition waiver. And the reason for that is that you have to be employed before February 1st in order to be eligible for the tuition waiver. So that census date of February 1 is very important. Every semester we have a census date that's the 12th class day, or during the summer it's the 4th class day. And everything has to be completed before that day. It's a big, hard deadline. And so you have to be enrolled, you have to be working by the census date of the semester, and you have to continue working all the way until the last class day in order to be eligible for the tuition waiver. So it is possible for you to find an instructional assistant position and get that tuition waiver that first semester. It'll just be really difficult. It'll be a real rush to find positions. And all the other students will also be looking for those positions. So I suggest look in Cougar Pathways, talk to other students if you can. Current students will probably have the best ideas of where you can find positions on campus. If my student visa expires during my OPT, can I reapply for a student visa or a work visa? Yes, I believe you can. I think they give you an OPT extension when you apply for OPT. That's really a question for International Student Services. They would probably know that better than I would. So you can email someone over there. If not, if you don't hear back from them, then come talk to me when you get here and we'll figure that out. We have plenty of time to figure out how your OPT will work out. How can I set up my installment plan? So the way you do that is you log into MyUH. Starting January 2nd, the option will be there for the installment plan. It's not currently there, so you won't see it until January. But at that point, the options for installment plans and deferment plans will show up and you'll be able to see them. Okay. So my advisor and I discussed the internship during the summer, and he told me that he will arrange one, but now it seems that I will finish the first 2 semesters in order to do any internship. It's really necessary for me to finish my second semester to do my first internship during the summertime. Unfortunately, yes, it's a federal law for the student visa. We can talk to the International Student Services Office to see if there's any kind of way that we could work around it. You're a PhD student, I think, so it may be possible for us to, if your internship is related to your research, or if it's required internship in order for you to gather data or to get access to certain equipment or something like that, a lot of times that we can work around that rule. But there has to be a really strong reason for it, and usually it has to be research related. So we'll talk about that when you get here and see what we can figure out. I heard about the International House, which is Bayou Oaks. Do you know some pricing information or some information about the building, such as price, check-in, check-out date, and payment methods? I don't know as much as I would like about the housing around campus. I would suggest contacting them or contacting housing on our website to see if you can find out more information. Bayou Oaks is a pretty common one that I see a lot of students stay at. But that's about all that I know about it. What is the approximate fee amount for 3 credits? Let's see. So it's about, I'm not really sure. If you go onto the UH website, I want to say it's around $1,800 for domestic students, and so it'd probably be about $3,000 for an international student. But you can go onto our website on uh.edu under financial. There's a tuition and fees calculator where you can put in whether you're a resident or non-resident. And if you're supported, then you would put in resident, because you would be getting the tuition waiver. And then you can put in the number of credits, which degree program you're in, and it'll give you a total. So what about students who have a scholarship and out-of-state tuition waiver? I think you're going to have to clarify your question for me about what it is that you want to know about that situation. If I enroll for 9 credits, do I still have to pay all by the 10th? If you enroll now for 9 credit hours, you will be given a bill for the 10th. How much and when you have to pay is really determined by your funding, if you're receiving a scholarship or tuition waiver. But yes, the bill is due the 10th. So if you enroll now, you do have to pay by the 10th. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes, see if we get any more questions to pop up. I think we've gotten to the end of them. Okay, so Harsh's question about how much we have to pay if you have a tuition waiver and a scholarship. So you will be charged resident rates. So when you look at the chart in this presentation, or when you go to the tuition calculator, you'll put in that you're a resident for that semester. And then you'll get a total that will tell you how much the resident rate for that semester is. And then you'll subtract the amount of your scholarship from that. Hopefully before the 10th, you'll see all of that hit your account, the tuition waiver and the scholarship, and you'll be able to see exactly how much you have to pay. If not, then you can do the emergency deferment and wait for those things to go through. But if you wait past February 1st, you will start being charged interest. So we can try to figure out exactly how much you'll have to pay. The best way to do that once you've arrived here is to go to Student Business Services. They can tell you how much your tuition bill will be without the scholarship and without the tuition waiver. I don't know exactly how much the tuition waiver is this semester, so it's hard for me to do that math. Let's see, can we choose both the emergency deferment and installment plans? I don't think so. I don't think that you can choose both. I think you have to choose one or the other, but I'm not totally positive on that. We can ask Student Business Services. But you will have to at least choose the emergency deferment plan. Since you're a PhD student, you'll be responsible for the amount of your insurance and I think an orientation fee, and that'll be all you will be responsible for. And I think that the deferment plan might be the best choice for you, but we can talk about that. If you're going to be here by the 2nd of January, then come to the office as soon as you get here, and we will get started on your financial stuff. We'll make sure everything gets processed. Let's see. My friend is living in Houston. He has a rent room which costs $400 a month, but it is 1 hour by bus. Okay. So someone is offering up a place to stay. That's really nice of you. You may also want to try to contact them through the Facebook group and see if there are any takers. I saw about 2,460 in my account, and I had not even enrolled yet. And when I enrolled for 6 credits, the bill increased to 9,678. You know what? Send me an email and I'll look at your account directly and see what the charges are for. I don't know what would be charged for 2,460, so I'll have to look at that more closely. All international students are automatically charged for for insurance. So part of that is probably insurance. And let's see. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the rest would be. Insurance shouldn't be more than about $1,000. It is really difficult to give you guys advice about your financial accounts since it's different for almost every student. It really depends on your residency status, which program you're in, how many credits you're enrolled for. You know, it's easier for me to help you with those if you email me directly, and I'm totally open to helping, to at least trying to help you with any of those. Okay, I'm going to wait another minute or two to see if there's any further questions. I really appreciate you guys all being here and participating in this event. We're really hoping to kind of work the kinks out of these webinars and figure out the best way to get information to new international students. Let's see, I read on UH website that your total fee is divided into 4 installments. Yes, so that's the installment plan. Most students who don't get their waiver before the fee bills are due do the emergency deferment plan instead of the installment plan. But if you're staying in university housing, which I think it sounds like you are, that does throw another kink into it. And so I think that we'll have to talk to Student Business Services about that. But I do think that in that situation, you would be able to do both plans. I'm gonna make a note to look that up and talk to them about that. And we'll see if we can get the straight answer on whether you can do both plans. When is the deadline to pay health insurance? So the deadline for that is gonna be the same as the enrollment deadline. Excuse me. All payment deadlines for your student account are the same. So the bill will be due the 10th of January. Some students will be receiving stipends. If you have an RA or TA position, you might be receiving an insurance stipend to help you cover the cost of insurance. But you need to know that upfront, the deadline for the insurance is going to be with your student bill. So even though you're receiving the stipend, it's your responsibility to pay your insurance up front, and then you take that stipend from your check to kind of pay yourself back. Also, so all international students will automatically be charged for the health insurance, but if you're able to find better insurance or cheaper insurance somewhere else, you can't have that waived. And I believe the deadline for that is also February 1st. So you need to look into whether or not insurance in your home country will be better, or if insurance somewhere else from another company might be cheaper. And because the amount that you're going to receive for your stipend is not identical to the amount that they charge for insurance, it's just meant to help you cover the cost. So you will have to pay your insurance up front. If you do an installment plan or a deferment, the health insurance will also be included in that payment plan. So you can do a payment plan and pay that off through the semester. How do we claim the in-state tuition waiver if awarded? So if you were awarded a scholarship or an RATA position that comes with a tuition waiver, the university will process that automatically. Especially if it's a scholarship, your advisor should have already submitted that information, and that should be being processed right now so that it hits your account before the 10th. If not, if it takes longer than that, then I'm sorry, I got off my train of thought. So there's also a situation where you might be a student in one department, but you're working for another college or another department on campus. If that's the case, then you have to actually apply for the tuition waiver, and you should talk to your advisor about how you do that. But if you have a scholarship or you're just working in your home department, then all of that will be done without you having to do anything. Is it possible to start working as GTA before getting SSN? So you have to at least have you have to have applied for the Social Security number and gotten a receipt for that before the university can hire you. So you might not actually have your final Social Security number yet and have all that processed, but you have to have at least applied for it before you can start working. And hopefully your department can give you more information about how that hiring process works. There's so much paperwork that has to be completed. So if you do have a position on campus, please try to get here by the 3rd so that we can start that process. Is it obligatory for us to participate in both the 3rd and the 10th of January orientation meetings? No, you only have to attend one check-in. So if you go to the one on the 3rd, you don't have to go to the one on the 10th. Is the cost under the class enrollment section including health insurance or not? It should have your health insurance already. I haven't checked any student accounts to see if the health insurance was on there yet, but it should already be on there. And if you can't see the itemized bill, send me an email and I'll look it up for you, and we can try to figure out if that's on your account. I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes and see if anybody else has any questions. You're all welcome. Thank you for participating, and I hope this has been helpful for everyone. We want you to have as much information before you get here as possible. It's really important to the College of Engineering that we have a seamless process for you guys where you can get over here and understand what's going on and not be lost your first week. I'm going to wait about one more minute to see if there's anybody currently typing a question. And if not, we'll go ahead and end. And I want to encourage you all again, if you have any issues or questions, please email me. I mainly deal with admissions and advising students through the admissions process and through like the first few weeks of orientations and that sort of thing. After that, it's really your best source is going to be your department advisor. And so if you have questions that are specific to your degree program or to your degree plan, that'll be who you want to talk to. Is there a way to get into classes which are showing closed? Yes, there is. Every department has a process for that, so you'll need to contact the department advisor. I think I recognize your name, so I'm guessing you're probably a ECE student. But for ECE, you submit a closed section petition, and those forms are on our website under graduate and then forms. And so there's a whole section that's just about course enrollment and the forms needed to enroll in courses. And so you'll get the form from there. And if the class is in your home department, it's usually an easy process. You'll just be added to a wait list. And if we're able to open up more seats in the class, or if students drop, then we'll add you in. If you're looking to get into a class that's in another department, that might be a little bit more difficult. You might have to get the instructor's permission to enroll. Let's see. Is the student housing fee also added to the fees? Yes, your student housing fees will be included in your student account. So you'll be able to see all of that through MyUH. Do you accept official transcripts if students carry them with them? Yes, you can bring your official transcripts, preferably sealed. I know there are some universities that don't seal official transcripts, but if your university does, UH is aware of that, and they will want the sealed copies. So you need to bring official hard copies with the seals to the graduate school office on campus. And they're located in the Ezekiel Cullen building, which we can get you a map or, show you how to find once you're here. And you just walk in, and they will make certified copies of those transcripts, and then they will give you back the originals. So if it's really important to you to keep your originals, that's the best way to do it. If you mail your documents to the university, usually the university will keep them. Does our insurance cover teeth problem issues? I don't know if dental insurance is included. I'm assuming that you can buy dental insurance through the university, though. So it may be a separate fee for usually in the US you buy medical insurance and then you buy dental separately. So I'm assuming that it's probably going to be a separate fee. Let's see, I applied for student housing. Could fees be added to the tuition fees? Yes, they should be included. Is there a semester syllabus for each course? Yes, all professors are required to have a syllabus for their course that they have to give you by the first class day. Usually they also upload them to MyUH. So sometimes you'll find a link for a syllabus on there. If there's a course that you're interested in taking or wanting to know more about, you can email the professor and ask for the syllabus. They can usually just email it back to you. I'm just pausing for a minute again to see if anybody else has a question. You guys are asking really great questions. These are all very good questions. Okay, well, I think we've slowed down on the questions. If you have further questions, like I said before, please email me. My email address is blyale@uh.edu. And if I don't know the answer to your question, I will do my best to find those answers for you. If I said that I would look up an answer for you in this while we were doing this questions, please go ahead and email me just as a reminder so I don't forget to find your answer for you. Thank you guys for participating in the webinar, and we look forward to seeing you here at UH. We have one more question. Do you know about the security around campus? Is it safe? So we are very close to downtown Houston. There are some security concerns, but we do have our own campus police who are really good at keeping students safe on campus. If you leave campus, I can't guarantee what the security is going to be like, but it's generally a pretty safe place, and it's getting better all the time. I'm supposed to apply for a math course, but there are many. So you should talk to your advisor about what type of math course will apply to your degree plan. Hopefully they can give you very specific instructions about what math courses you can take. I think most likely it needs to be a graduate level course, and If they've just told you you have to take a math course, it may be that you get to pick any. But I would check first just to make sure. You don't want to end up in a class that will not apply to your degree plan. Like I said before, international students are required to only take courses that apply to their degree plans. So you don't want to risk falling out of visa status or something because you took the wrong course. That generally doesn't happen too often, but it is a possibility. So you want to be really careful about that. All right, so thank you guys for participating, and we'll see you here in January. I want to remind everybody that the university will be closed from December 23rd through January 1st. So after today, we'll be closed until the 2nd of January. So, I mean, you can still email me during that time, and I will be checking my email and trying to respond to your questions. But just so you know, all the offices will be closed, and most people will not be responding to email. So if you have any issues during that time, feel free to contact me, and I'll try to do what I can. But otherwise, we'll see you guys here in a few weeks. We're excited to welcome you to Houston. Bye.